Operation Wyrmsbane is a station structure killing mission. And if you click on the rewards, usually the rewards are pretty decent. It's not too bad. You'll get about 11 million ISK and about 109 to 113,000 loyalty points depending on which agent you're looking at. But the objective is actually pretty straightforward. You go in, you blast the structure, you kill it, and you get out. And in most cases, it's not that hard. The tedious part is it actually takes a long time to do. And I would recommend using a Revelation with a strong thermal and kinetic tank, and the Revelation I'm using right now has an 85 and 67 resist accordingly. If you warp to the beacon at 50, you might end up right next to the station, and that means you can switch to multi-frequencies and you'll be able to get a much higher DPS output as opposed to going at range, and then you have to cut it down by switching to a lower tiered crystal. So we're coming out of warp right now, and hopefully we're going to be within range, and what will happen is you'll have a bunch of ships spawn, and the Guardian spies and agents will warp scramble you. In most cases you'll be able to get out, but keep in mind the warp core stab will let you be able to leave the field if you need to. So we're now coming out of warp, and we are literally landing right on top of the station. Absolutely fantastic. And we're landing within smart bomb range. So what we're going to do is we're going to light a smart bomb, and oh damn, that's the first. We're landing 110 meters off the station, lighting the smart bomb and targeting the station. And what we're going to do is just go point blank and go all out DPS. The structure, if you go at range, will take about 5 minutes to kill. At this range it should take about 3 minutes, and the LP and ISK combined rewards for this mission is about 100 million. So as you see, my guns are now shooting, and we're going to get a cycle of about, what's the cycle on these guns right now? The gun cycle is 4.73 seconds. Very decent, and you've got a high DPS output of 1132 DPS, and we don't go into siege mode. No need. You're going to see the shields are going to disintegrate really quickly. The smart bomb is going to add a little bit of extra DPS, and of course the Gigapulse, the dual motor Gigapulse lasers with the Sancha multi-frequencies. The Sancha crystals are about 1 million to 1.4 million in JITA. 10% DPS for capital guns is a very, very cost-effective and cheap. The crystals last about 1,000 shots, so I usually buy them in packs of 9 to 12, but they last a long time. So once you buy 12, you're good for a couple of months, and you don't actually fire that many shots per mission. You're going to find yourself webbed, and as you can see, I've got 2 webbing towers, and you're going to have some frigates appear. No problem. If you're at range, usually you'll have some sensor dampening, and that'll cut your range to just under 19 clicks. So the reason is if you come to the mission too far from the station, you're going to want to shoot the stasis tower so you can get within 20 clicks of the station, get close in, and switch to multi-freaks. If you warp in at 50 like I just did and you get lucky, and usually the station is in about line from where we warped in from, you can land a lot closer and you don't have to move. You can immediately switch to multi-frequencies and shoot the station. So you can see you're getting some shots, generic, and then you get roughly 6,000 HP per volley. If you've got some frigates, no problem. You don't have to shoot any of the frigates or NPCs. It doesn't actually help you. Some people like to drop for tags and say, I want to collect tags and I want to get a mobile tractor unit. I would recommend just don't bother doing it. It's not really going to help you, and it takes too much time. The purpose of the mission with the Revelation is to go in, blitz, and get out. And as you can see, we're still at 61% shields, and the station is about 90% structure right now. And we're nearing the end of the mission as we're continuing. So give it another minute or two, and once these shields are dropped, this station should be more or less popped, and you'll see more and more NPCs spawn. Again, that happens normally. It's not a huge thing. The Revelation can tank it very, very easily. And with the resists we've got, you can absorb, and you've got something like 280,000 armor. Plenty to use as a buffer. And you don't really have to use your armor ripper if you don't want to, if you're being neuted. Although later on in the mission you will face new batteries. So if your cap drops a little bit too much, don't worry. You don't have to put any tracking computers. Just put a decent amount of cap and you'll be fine. So we're now approaching 36% shields, and we're nearing the halfway structure point. There's no one in system, and usually if you come in a system, you're going to want to make speed towards the station, so if anyone tries to throw up a scan probe, you can simply disappear. And as I mentioned before, Guardian agents, we've got 2 of them, and they're webbing me right now. So now you can actually move. And if you're moving, the tracking issue is a non-issue, because your speed is so slow that the tracking will essentially, it's like shooting at a structure, but you're not moving, and you have no difficulty with the mission at this point. So I think we're roughly 4 minutes into the mission. We've got a new guy called Astro Kramer. Don't know who he is. Let's take a quick look. He's a nobody. Getting down to about 1/4 structure left, and as you notice, my shields are down to 6%. So by the time the structure is almost popped, your shields should be gone at that point. And again, it's not a high-risk mission. We've got a lot more NPCs on the field, and let's see, we've got about 20% left. Once this is finished, well, we've got a Helios, and he's gone. Once this mission is finished, just warp out. You're done. It's a quick blitz. Go in, destroy the structure. Do not destroy any of the NPCs, and then you can warp out, and the mission is completed. So that is Operation Wyrmsbane, almost identical to Wyrmslayer. Wyrmslayer, we're shooting the NPCs. We're killing these with smart bombs to kill the faction battleship. And for Wyrmsbane, you're just killing the station and you're done. And if you take a look on the tab, the operation is currently complete. And that's Operation Wyrmsbane.